really need to sort out the leaky hose pipe, but here we go. Here's the after restoration of the Cardigan. And this wasn't as simple as I thought it was going to be in the end. The old lead overflow has now been converted to copper. Siphon's all cleaned up, all brass fittings are cleaned, doing that. All I need now is the chain, but that's cosmetic and that won't affect the performance of the system. Haven't had much luck with getting chains for systems from eBay, unfortunately. Thought I did get one from a Jap cap, but yeah. So yeah, here it's set up with a magnia. When it swirls, it's a good flush. And does it swirl? That's my phone. I'm not quite sure if it does pass the 2-minute mark, but I've got a feeling that it is actually a 2.5 gallon cistern or 2 gallon cistern based on the length of the flush I've just received from it. As you can see, it does shut off in the end. So yeah, flush number 2 now. System recon now, and an explanation. Okay, so the torch is on. It's the bottom of the siphon. Ross inlet. The overflow. I'm going to start putting overflows in every after restoration of the system projects. Now I've worked out what I can do with the old lead overflow pipes. I can convert it to copper quite easily, so that's good. And here it is. So that just really bit of fine detailing and chain to put on there. Here's the siphon, nice and cleaned up. And working at last. Part 1 float valve, as ever. It was neater before, but I've had to temporarily podge it slightly and I haven't quite got it back to how it was before. So I'll explain what happened. So when I first put the cistern up and got it working, when you pull the chain down, it got stuck. And even though I tried to keep pulling it like that, it wouldn't go back up again. So that's quite frustrating. So I took the siphon out and I got the siphon in the shed, and I sort of assumed that it was the old spring that I put in there, because I cut it down slightly and I thought it was catching, but once I put the new spring in there, it was working fine, all looking good, but then it did the same thing. Pulled the chain down and it got stuck again, and that was really frustrating. So yet again I had to take the siphon out, making my shed really wet once again, and in the end I had to experiment lots of different ways, find out what was going wrong and everything. Weight block, nope. But what I should have really done was test it, pull it up and see if it sticks down like that when it was out of use and stuff. But in the end I was going around with it and I turned you can see the piston here, I turned it around 180 degrees and it was working absolutely fine. But then it occurred to me that because this hole here was slightly worn out and it wasn't going straight down like it was before, it also meant that when it was in use, the piston the base had worn down a little bit as well, so that was making it go straight back down after it was working properly and everything. So once I worked that out, I put it back in the cistern, got it all set up again. The flush pipe was leaking a tiny little bit, but to be honest it doesn't really matter because this is working now. And so yeah, there we go. Sorry about rambling on, but it was a really simple problem that was just too obvious for me, I suppose. But yeah, it works now, and when I let go of a chain, it does it as it should. Because almost every time it would stick down in that fixed position before. So yeah, system new time now. Let's see it flush. I do keep a fine sort of line on where to set the water level on these systems. It's usually just below the overflow because, as you know, these do spray water, and this actually happened when I realised the water level set too low and water sprayed everywhere despite the system being full at the time, and that was only a centimetre below the water line. But now it's fine and it's absolutely spray free, so yeah. Possible. Last thing I want is someone to buy the cistern and first flush it sprays them over the head. But it's bad if I sold it and the chain got stuck down and wouldn't go back up again. But all those problems have been resolved. load of troubleshooting and everything, and now I finally feel like this is okay to put up for sale once I get the chain and everything. And so yeah, there we go. Also, here's a new sort of thing. What I'm going to do with every sort of restoration is get a second flush with a cistern view, but also demonstrate how much the siphon leaks air. It's inevitable that these siphons do leak air, but as long as I flush all the way to the bottom of the cistern, that's the main thing. And as you can see, this one works really well. So yep, thumbs up.